What is conditioning your consciousness continuously is aligned with what is most real. This is a quote by Daniel Schmachtenberger. This quote describes the core of what I'm about to tell you in the following letter. Because if you're not aware of how your reality should look and feel like, you might end up losing yourself in a world that tells you how your reality should look and feel. I am feeling like I'm losing connection to people around me, but mainly to myself. I know it sounds dramatic, but for me it is. It is not a feeling of being unreal, but a feeling of the loss of the girl I used to be. Many people don't want to be the person they used to be. In some parts of myself, I also want to bury for good, but the loss of these specific parts of me doesn't feel right. Because I liked things about the old me that I'm slowly forgetting. The internet is so noisy, it's like people screaming at you at the same time, wanting you to buy this new hair product or wanting to convince you to do XYZ before you turn 30. Don't get me wrong, there is so much value out there too. But a lot of it just feels too much for me. And I often don't know how to resist that anymore because I've gotten so used to this constant feeling of being overwhelmed and giving my lifetime away to content I never planned to consume. I don't want to say that the internet should be cancelled. I just have a difficult time with it right now. I just want to learn how I can use it to benefit me instead of hurting me. So it's not about escaping the digital world and leaving everything behind, but recognizing, appreciating, and living more in the analog world that physically surrounds me again. What helped me remember some parts of my old self I had forgotten about was rest and complete stillness. In May of this year, I made an important decision to experience that stillness. I quit my job and left an environment that made me feel small instead of empowered. I know that not everyone has this opportunity, therefore I'm so thankful to be in a position like that. I had the feeling of slowly disappearing week by week. The decision was scary, but so necessary. My job wasn't the only thing that drained me. There were other things also going on, but it played a huge factor regarding my poor mental health status. After almost 2 years of working in retail, I had the chance to be completely independent and calm again. Nobody had something to say about how I'm spending my day, how I am spending my energy, what people I have to surround myself with, and what tasks I have to spend my mental and physical capacity on. That doesn't mean that all my problems are solved now. Often it even feels like they've gotten even more present since it's so calm around me. But at the same time, for the first time in months, I feel a clear spark of hope. It feels like I'm one tiny step closer to the place I want to end up. So I am in the middle of figuring out how that place could feel, look, smell, and be like. I'm on my way. But I have already figured out one part of this place. It praises music. Music for me is like a network of my memories, traveling through time. It lets me remember who I am and who I want to become. I find comfort in music, and it brings out parts in me I'm still holding back from the world. It gives me some form of life that I'm not able to feel without it. A few weeks ago, I was getting lost in my playlists that contain too many songs whose singers' names I don't even know. I didn't want to be so ignorant that I'm not even able to name the people that are creating the art I so much enjoy. It feels like a disrespect almost. Probably it is. The time I quit my job was also the time I moved into the apartment that was owned by my grandaunt. One day, while cleaning out the apartment, I discovered an awesome setup of record players for vinyl records, CDs and tapes, so everything my heart could wish for. It is also just something about the technical devices from the past that have a special aura. They are still working and surviving in that age of broken machines. These old recorders were built to last. A thing that today's technical devices are mainly not made for. I was even more hyped to finally order some of my favorite or completely unknown albums on CD and vinyl, because with time I slowly started listening to albums on Spotify again. Not exclusively, but way more than before. What I remembered while listening. An album is like a TV show. It contains single episodes that make sense together. It's not always that deep, but anyone who listened to a Shakis Mr. Money with a Vibe album may have recognized that it almost feels like a DJ set. I loved that. I have never realized it before because until that point I have only listened to fragments of his art, single pieces. What I also love about holding the records in my hands again is that I get to know the musicians. Since owning the Hotter Than July record, I know that Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday is a tribute to Martin Luther King. He wanted his birthday to be a national holiday. He created this single to spread awareness of the cause. I've never come across this information because I was never curious enough to do my research about Stevie Wonder. What I realized in the middle of everything, the more I consume, the less the impact of the things I consume is. The joy, the important pieces of art, or just good entertainment are getting lost, swallowed in the flood of information. I was constantly overwriting my brain like a hard drive. Listening to music with a recorder, watching DVDs and printing out my favorite pictures is helping me to feel more structured, focused, and present in my mind again. Returning to the analog world lets me touch and feel things that I would otherwise only see on a flat screen. I am building up a world of physically available media again. To me, that feels powerful. Nothing is wrong about streaming platforms or buying digital MP3 files. I just think for a lot of us there's no balance anymore. And this is what I'm trying to achieve again. Having a balance and a deeper understanding of the music I'm listening to or the movies I'm watching. I want to listen and see consciously what artists are about to tell me and entrust to me.